Welcome to the Fire Rescue Wellness Podcast Spotlight, where we revisit take-home messages and shine a light on previous FRW podcasts in 10 minutes or less. I'm Lex, AZ's right and left-hand woman, and I churn out these mini episodes for her. Let's go.
And so the other word that you threw out there was validated. And so oftentimes, especially with some of the things we're doing with firefighters, we're using more field-based assessment strategies because it's really hard to bring them into a controlled lab environment, especially when they're on shift. It's just not really feasible. So we have to bring a lot of our toys to them. And so we oftentimes look for, validation studies that have, looked at more mobile or portable pieces of equipment and then compare them against some kind of criterion or reference method. And that would be a way to validate, some of these field-based tests or portable pieces of equipment to, again, make sure it's giving you the information that you want, even though it's known that it's not regarded as like the gold standard. But, if it, again, is validated, then it still seems to give you the right information. So we've done some of these studies already with some of the toys that we use and will use in the future to making sure that, again, we're getting the right information that we would want when we test them.
I love it. All right, Joel, bouncing it to you. Are you ready? All right, he's ready. What services are you currently providing to the fire department? Or what services are you hoping to provide in the future to the fire department that you're working with specifically?
Yeah, so right now we're doing a lot of fitness program writing for them and providing that. The department we work with is on a 48-96 schedule. And so that makes programming interesting. And having listened to your episode with Dr. Abel, everything he was saying, it was echoing and clicking and, agreed. And so we've already kind of modified, understanding that. But so we provide that as an option to them with any modifications that people need with injury history or other concerns. But within that, we did not required, but I think we ended up having like 86 of a 100-person department participate in a Fusionetics movement screen, which is based off the NASM corrective exercise specialist. But the reason that we went and utilized Fusionetics, because it's app-based, they've done all the work on the back end with the algorithm that after we did the screen, we could generate a custom to that person program to address some mobility issues or some stability issues that they can have access right on their phone. And so we actually have them include that right in their warm-up if they would like to, but also scheduled it so they have an option 7 days a week. So no matter if they're on shift or off shift, there's something there for them if they'd like to. Beyond that, we're very much still in like the pilot mode of this and trying to expand it. So every Wednesday and Friday morning, part of my day is going to each of the 4 stations we have in town and just basically popping in, answering questions, clearing up confusion. We record all the workouts and put it into a short video that they can then play in real time to just help them get through it, because a lot of them will admit, like, I'm not the fitness person, I don't get this. So the more they can see it in real time, we've adapted to do that for them, which has gone over really well. But then now, just with my AT background and working in our sports med clinic, a few of them, aches and pains are starting to be brought up that I can send them some home exercise stuff with, or actually have them come into clinic, get seen by a sports med doc who's just got that mindset of, you're treating them like an athlete. They're, that we're not going to tell you got to be down for, 8 weeks just because, or you got to take 2 weeks off, and really working with them to, just answer questions. And if there's things that we can do to help in clinic, we'll do those. So that's been really nice. And then another just kind of aside with Dr. Jagim and the lab we have in the hallway with a metabolic cart and a DEXA scanner, we had an ongoing study just collecting some body composition numbers and then also resting metabolic rate, which has been eye-opening for I think we've had 28 or so come out and do that, and probably have some more coming. But then we just recorded yesterday, and by we, I mean Dr. Jagim. Most of the work on this. I sat there and asked some questions, but just some basic nutrition stuff, how to make sense of it, how to read it. If this is your baseline level of caloric need, what do we multiply that by in order to make sure that we're meeting your needs but not overshooting? And so we'll get that out to the department probably next week and hopefully answer a lot of questions with that, but then hope maybe inspire a few more to come in. And I think we're hoping to even write that up because of the number that we're interested, that we could put that information out there on just a different population.
And I didn't intend to ask you this question, but it popped in my mind because I'm sure the listeners are going to want to know. Do you have any data yet on return on investment?
We don't. We've tried to figure out what that would be. When we initially started this, the initial meeting 3 years ago, our OC Health group was potentially going to get involved because they had been doing their physicals. And so we all met and they did some run loss data on workers' comp. And we didn't, based on the numbers, apparently nobody got hurt in the years that they were looking at, because I think the highest year was like $80,000 or something. So it was not a huge amount of money. And as much as I would love to say that I could prevent all injuries from occurring, it takes one bad step in a surgery to hit $80,000 in that. So that's not one that we've really looked at, but I had the captain we've been working with, and I think he actually shared it with the chief. Your episode, I'm blanking on her name.
Moshe.
Moshe, yeah, yes. That episode to just kind of highlight that potential return on investment as well. And then I actually know another person that came out of that Indiana State program that had done some work with tactical departments, and they were focusing more on satisfaction. And so we've got a couple of just like brief surveys of just trying to get some of that data back. Like, hey, this is great. Like, it's awesome you're coming through, which we've generally gotten that feedback. It's been interesting to see some of the walls come down as we just continued to show up, basically. Just this morning, I talked to a captain who has not said a word to me since I started coming around, but had some elbow pain, had some questions. We had a great conversation. I got to send him some stuff here this afternoon, but you can just see that it's starting to come through 80 plus people, 85% of the department doing this testing with us. And we know we'll get a ton for the air management course. It's been pretty awesome. We had 28, now 27 because someone got hurt. Sorry, AJ, I forgot to tell you that. For this creatine study, instantly there was like, yep, we're in on that. Is pretty awesome.